Keep your voice low in the corridor, brother. Steel carries names farther than prayer. A red light hums by the elder's doorway. Cold white dust in the bunker air. Boots heel stop when the lock clicks open. Every back goes stiff and straight. Some walk like they serve the order. Some walk in like they carry fate. Low, keep it low in the bunker tonight. Low, don't let the steel walls heal. Some names travel ahead of the man himself, and his name gets a first with fear. When the lamps burn thin and the ranks stand still, you can feel it before he comes. Low, keep it low in the bunker tonight. There's a name in the dark that hums. Low, do, 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 do. Low, low, do, 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 do. Young ones trade what they owe, won't answer bits of rumor and half-seen signs. They say he stares at the maps like scripture. They say he measures men like lines. One said mercy, one said weakness, one said steel is not enough. And then the door gave way on a breath of silence, and no one there kept talking tough. Low, keep it low in the bunker tonight. Low, don't let the steel walls hear. Some names travel ahead of the man himself, and his name gets a first with fear. When the lamps burn thin and the ranks stand still, you can feel it before he comes. Low, keep it low in the bunker tonight. There's a name in the dark that hums. Before the step, before the sleep, before the face is seen, first comes the hush, then comes the wait, then comes what the whispers mean. Low, keep it low in the bunker tonight. Low, hold your breath and wait. Some men enter a room like ordinary men, some arrive already shaped by fate. When the lock turns once and the hallway chills, even hard men bite their tongues. Low, keep it low in the bunker tonight. There's a name in the dark that hums. Low, do, 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 do. Low, low, do, 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 do. Cut hard on the white steel girder. Sun came down like a judge in flame. Mirrors turned and the tower answered. Every pane threw back his name. Men saw wires in a power station. He saw order burning bright. Some men ask what a machine is made for. Some men ask what it has the right. Sun on the tower, hot and high. Turn your face and do not blink. Light on the steel like a second gospel, brighter than the careful think. If the world won't kneel to power, make it learn what power means. Sun on the tower, hot and high. Fire made clean in the mirrored gleam. Others spoke of limits, timing, of what the old grid could not hold. He spoke plain of dominion, like the daylight could be told. Hands on rails and eyes unshaken, he stood where the white glare poured. What they called a plan for holding current, he called a throne for a sterner lord. Sun on the tower, hot and high, turn your face and do not blink. Light on the steel like a second gospel, brighter than the careful think. If the world won't kneel to power, make it learn what power means. Sun on the tower, hot and high, fire made clean in the mirrored gleam. Not in parchment, not in mercy, not in voices soft and small. In the blaze above the desert, he thought he heard a higher call. Sun on the tower, hot and high, burn the doubt from every seam. Some men fear what shines too brightly, some men build their faith from beam. When the day strikes white on metal, you can see what he had seen. Sun on the tower, hot and high, a hard bright God in a machine.
Stealing the walls and stealing the rifles, stealing the bunker in the ground, stealing the oath and stealing the bearing, stealing the old drill sergeant sound. But he looked through all that sharpened metal, saw softness underneath, said a blade is only iron if the hand behind it still has teeth. Ah, steel is not enough, not enough, not if the will runs weak. You can forge a frame and polish doctrine, still not have the nerve you seek. Still not enough, not enough, not for the age to come. What good is armor on a trembling man when the judgment hour is sung? Others spoke of law and caution, measured steps and ordered lines. He spoke of strain and necessary severing, of cut and rot before decline. Mercy sounded thin beside him, patience sounded small and slow. What they call restraint and discipline, he called fear in a finer code. And not enough, not enough, not if the will runs weak. You can forge a frame and polish doctrine, still not have the nerve you seek. Till's not enough, not enough, not for the age to come. What good is armor on a trembling man when the judgment hour is sung? Make it harder, make it plainer, burn the weaker fraction out. If the old world died from softness, why should softness lead us now? Steel is not enough, not enough, not for the work at hand. You can line the halls with perfect order, still not shape a sterner man. And not enough, not enough, he said it like a vow, and every room that heard him knew he meant to prove it somehow. HELIOS One in the right noon burning, the dust rose hard from a broken ground. Orders cracked through the static and gunfire, steel rang back with a bitter sound. Men held lines by the shattered breaches, smoke moved low where the bright blast shone. Some are fighting for the Brotherhood's future, some full of will of one alone. At HELIOS HELIOS One, we held the line, held it thin in the heat and glare, fire on the walls and glass all blazing, dust and sparks in the desert air. At HELIOS One, men broke and bled, still the order would not bend. Some dreams crack in the hand that grips them, some men hold them to the end. Something gave in the noise and shouted me to the flank or the faith or both. One more breach and the day turned inward, one more loss and it stripped the oath. Still he stood where the signals faltered, still he looked through the ruined smoke. What was breaking around the tower was not the part in him that broke. At HELIOS One, we held the line, held it thin in the heat and glare, fire on the walls and glass all blazing, dust and sparks in the desert air. At HELIOS One, men broke and bled, still the order would not bend. Some dreams crack in the hand that grips them, some men hold them to the end. When the shouting dropped to embers, when the dead lay where they'd fallen, there are losses men admit in silence, and losses one man keeps on calling. At HELIOS One, the light stayed bright, even while the day went wrong. Smoke on the rails and heat in the mirrors, failure cut, but the will held strong. At HELIOS One, the dream was wounded, not the voice that drove it on. Some men leave a field defeated, some leave carrying the battle on.
Cold on the table, cold in the lighting, cold in the steel around the room. Maps lay flat like quiet accusations, ranks sat still in the council gloom. One by one, the voices tightened, measured words with sharpened ends. Some men lean when the room leans on them, some men stand and never bend. He would not bend, not to the chair nor the chain of command. Heart in the jaw and heart in the silence, hard as a blade in an older hand. He would not bend, even when the room turned thin. Some men yield to keep their station, some lose all before they give in. One spoke duty, one spoke caution, one spoke order, worn and tired. He heard weakness dressed in language, heard dim ash where he wanted fire. Eyes went down, but not in reverence, more like men who'd made their choice. Still he answered clean and level, like iron passing for a voice. He would not bend, not to the chair nor the chain of command. Heart in the jaw and heart in the silence, hard as a blade in an older hand. He would not bend, even when the room turned thin. Some men yield to keep their station, some lose all before they give it in. man can fracture without ever looking bow. There are ways a room can cast you out without one speaking loud. He would not bend, not for rank nor brotherhood name. Some men break to keep their shelter, some walk straight into the flame. He would not bend, that was wound in creed alike. And every man who watched him leave knew the exile had begun that night. Ash in the wind where the bright glass ended. Ash on the boot and ash on the sleeve. The tower still stood in the distance, burning like something too proud to leave. Men spoke loss in the low camp language, counted dead and counted blame. He took the road with the dust behind him, but he did not carry shame. Ashes in the solar wind, blown across a broken line. Some men call it failure written in the glare of too much light. Ashes in the solar wind,
ashes in the solar wind,
dry and bitter on the tongue,
dry and bitter on the tongue.
when the world falls short of vision. Some men say the world was wrong. He said the weak had spoiled the purpose. Soft hands dulled what should have cut. Called it caution, called it order. He called all of it a crutch. Sunburned white on the dead concrete. Every step rang hard and thin. What the day had taken from him only drove the verdict in. Ashes in the solar wind,
Ashes in the solar wind,
blown across a broken line.
blown across the broken line.
Some men call it failure written
Some men call it failure written
in the glare of too much light.
in the glare of too much light.
Ashes in the solar wind,
Ashes in the solar wind,
dry and bitter on the tongue.
dry and bitter on the tongue.
When the world falls short of vision, some men say the world was wrong. If the hand was true, he told himself, then the fault was never there. If the fire did not obey him, then the failure lived elsewhere. Ashes in the solar wind,
Ashes in the solar wind,
falling where the bright things died.
falling where the bright things died.
Some men mourn what they have broken,
Some men mourn what they have broken.
some walk on and call it pride.
Some walk on and call
ashes in the solar wind, thin as dust and sharp as creed. What was lost out there at Helios did not kill what drove his need. Red ground under a hot sky turning, long road split by the heat and shell. No more walls and no more bunker, no more rank for a name to nail. Just the dust and the sun at shoulder, just the weight of a stripped down pack. Some men look at exile as ending, some men never look back. Cast out in red sand, far from the steel and the oath. Nothing left but the road and the daylight, nothing left but the self and the dust. Cast out in red sand, where the weak excuses end, where the older named as severance, he named as being cleansed. Wind moved through the stone cuts, dry as judgment, slow and plain. Every mile took off one more layer of old command and borrowed name. No witness there to call it exile, no court left standing to condemn. Only one man walking forward, calling the desert proof of him. Cast out in red sand, far from the steel and the oath. Nothing left but the road and the daylight, nothing left but the self and the dust. Cast out in red sand, where the weak excuses end, where the order named as severance, he named as being cleansed. When there's no one left to answer to, a man can sharpen into creed. Out where mercy finds no shelter, only purpose seems to breathe. Cast out in red sand, under the stripped and burning blue. Some men lose themselves in exile, some come out reduced and true. Cast out in red sand, with the old world left behind. He walked where the land had nothing and called that a cleaner kind. Evening lay long fire on, red in the stone and red in the west. He did not turn when the old world darkened, did not slow when it asked for rest. Road behind him full of titles, road ahead with no name at all. Some men leave and become forgotten, Some grow larger as they grow small. He walked away burning, burning, not with flame but with a will. Out past the order, out past the warning, out where the hard horizon stood still. He walked away burning, burning, with a day caught in his clothes. Some men vanish into the distance, some leave a shave the distant nose. Brotherhood halls kept all their echoes. Steel kept steel and rank kept rank. But the road took in a different figure, lean and severe and mercy blank. Not redeemed and not defeated, not made softer by the cost. He carried all that could not bend in him, like a creed that had been crossed. He walked away burning, burning, not with flame but with a will. Out past the order, out past the warning, out where the hard horizon stood still. He walked away burning, burning, with the day caught in his clothes. Some men vanish into the distance, some leave a shave the distant nose. By the time a man becomes a story, he is less than flesh and more than sign. What they remember was not his comfort, only the heat he left behind. He walked away burning, burning, into the red and empty land. Some men leave behind a chapter, some leave behind a harsher hand. He walked away burning, burning, till the light and the man were one, and the ones who spoke his name later spoke it like a setting sun.